So yeah, just during the start of the launch, I'll have the stick right back, so I apologise if I'm hitting you in the groin. It's just, it gets the nose wheel up off the ground, which lets me steer, and also it takes some of the load off the nose wheel, just so it doesn't get damaged by the bumpy airfield. But once we get going, I'll drop that back quite quickly.
No problem.
It's just for the first bit. So yeah, the ground run might be a little bit bumpy, then we'll come off the ground, fly along in a straight line until the tug comes off, and then we'll go flying. Right, okay, brakes closed and locked, cable on please. Close.
This is for
The piece of string.
yeah. This is for just.
Charlie, take up slack.
So the piece of string is to tell us if we're flying straight. So you can imagine that we could be skidding sideways through the air, which wouldn't be very efficient. So to avoid that, it's what the rudder control is for. But we probably won't get to that today.
So this was all the time in this direction.
Yeah, so ideally it's always pointing straight down like that. It means we're always flying most efficiently. It's a way of telling us which way the air is coming from. So if it's coming from the sideways, then the whole of the side of the fuselage is being presented to the air, which isn't a very efficient way to do it. So it's much better to have it come smoothly over the glider. One more little thing, but it's nice and simple and it doesn't break, so that's why we use a bit of string rather than some expensive. Now, lots of powered aircraft have got turn and slip indicators in them, which have got a little ball in them, which does the same thing, but they break.
So this is the low technology.
This is the low technology, low maintenance way, but it works rather well. And it's right in front of your vision all the time, which is where you want it to be.
Charlie, all out.
So it's particularly important in gliders we fly efficiently because we don't have an engine. You know, once we've lost the energy, we don't get it back. There's a collision avoidance device in here that beeps at us that we're about to hit another aircraft, and it's just seeing the tug directly in front of us. It's just a bit confused that it's quite so close to another aircraft. Sorry?
No, it's really great.
Yeah, it's fantastic view. That's Camborne just ahead of us over the nose, that town with the water tower. That's Camborne. You'll get a better view of it in a second. We're a bit higher.
And this is between Cambridge and
So I can point Cambridge out to you. Unless the visibility is improved, it's a bit lurking in the murk. If you look out to the horizon, you see it's a bit hazy.
yeah.
So Cambridge is out in that haze. It's behind us at the moment, but I'll point it out to you. So it's not the best day to go and look at Cambridge. Look at it anyway. So. Gradually tick our way up. See the wind farm to the left there? A bit of turbulence. Don't worry about that. Just flying through the sun's, like I said, the sun's not powerful enough to kick off proper thermals, but it can kick off little bubbles of air. So we periodically fly through one of those and get a bit of a bump. St. Neots or Sandy just off to the left, that town there. If you look right round to the left, you might be able to see the airfield. It's under the wing somewhere. Probably a bit hard to see there. The runways sometimes don't stand out all that well against the surrounding grass. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate the
Come round into the sun. The other problem is the sun is over Cambridge at the moment, so it's sort of washing out the sky, and it means you can't really see anything in that direction. see these little fluffy clouds we're getting up to level with now?
Which one? This one?
Yeah, so they've got weak thermals under them, which is why they're not very well defined. Probably not enough powerful enough to stay up in. And as we fly under it, it'll be a bit bumpy. So you'll feel the turbulence in a second, probably.
So this will be
Here somewhere, maybe? No, not so much. Sometimes they're rougher than others. Right, nearly there. Okay, in a moment I'll pull the release and the cable will disappear. Oops. And there we go. So, pull up a bit, slow down. Get away from the tug. There we go. Right, so, take a moment to admire the view. So that's Camborne there, down the wing, that big town, stuff on around. The airfield is there, you can see the triangle of runways.
Yeah, I can see
So we'll line up there. And Cambridge, unfortunately, is out there in the murk. So there's sort of, if you look out, you can sort of see, so if you sort of follow the edge of Camborne out in that direction, there's some buildings on the horizon, there's some various coloured white dots and things all the way out right in the murk.
Yeah,
That's Cambridge out there.
Okay. In that direction, is that
Yeah, well, it's all the same city out there. That's all Cambridge, the north and south. But unfortunately, not very pretty at the moment, I'm afraid. A bit too much cloud out there, but all make do. Anyway, so that's enough of me talking. There's not really much of a thermal there. Okay, so whilst flying, one thing I forgot to say on the ground, it's important to keep a good lookout. Okay, and I'd like you to help me with this. Good lookout for other aircraft, because it's the only way we avoid other planes. Just if you see any other aircraft or gliders, I'd like you to tell me.
okay.
And I'll do the same for you. And it's just an extra pair of eyes to keep track of things. Alright, so you want to go flying, I assume?
Yeah.
Alright, okay, let's do that then. So I'll just point us over this way, so we're not flying straight into the sun. It'll make it a bit easier to see what you're doing. I'll point us this way. Right, okay, so follow throttle controls, right hand on the stick. Okay, look over the nose and see the amount of the relationship between the nose and the horizon, or the amount of ground in view. Okay, this is the normal gliding attitude. Okay, it corresponds to a particular speed. So if you look down at the ASI, the airspeed indicator, see the arrow pointing at about 50. So this amount of ground corresponds to 50 knots. Now move the stick forward a small amount, the nose goes down. Okay, more ground comes into view, and the speed increases. So if I hold it there, the speed builds up to about 60 knots. Okay, I'll move the stick back, the nose rises. And we'll begin to slow down, and we'll settle back to a sensible speed again. Okay. So we'll put return us to the normal gliding attitude, and you have control. Maintain that attitude. So my hands and feet are off. You're flying. So move the stick forwards and backs as necessary, just to maintain that amount of ground as constant.
You need to keep moving continuously.
No, well, you should apply amount of pressure. So just you might find it drifts up or down. Try to avoid moving it left and right too much. We'll come to that in a second. Okay. That's very good. Okay, I have control. Just a second. I have control. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just point us back this way just so we don't disappear off too far from the runway, or we might not come back. There we go. I'll do a 180-degree turn, point us back this way, and... Okay, and you have control again.
I will try just to keep the 50.
Speed constant, that's it. Okay. Well, that's quite good, you're doing a good job there. You move the stick just to the left a little bit, and we'll explain why in a second. It's just keep just going in a straight line. That's good. Okay, so now, if you move the stick forward a small amount, and increase our speed. Stick forward. That's good. Yeah, that's good. And if you hold that attitude constant now, you'll find that the speed will build, and it'll settle at a new number. So now it's settling at about 60 knots. Move the stick back again, raise the nose, make a new attitude, and wait, and we'll slow down. And again, we're down at sort of 50 knots. Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I'll show you how we turn the glider now. Okay, so I have control. I'll just point us over here so we're not directly over the runway. Okay, so before we turn, a good lookout is important. So we're going to do a turn to the left. We look out to the left as far around you can. So what we're looking for is any other aircraft in our blind spot around there. Just under our wing. There's nothing else, that's okay. Okay, so now if you look over the nose, you see that the horizon's symmetrical with the wings, okay? If it wasn't symmetric, it might look something like that, say. Okay?
No, I didn't get the last one.
Sorry, yeah. So, can you see the way the horizon's symmetric at the moment?
This one.
Well, as in the way that the horizon away in the distance, And the top of the instrument panel is all symmetric. If I'm in a turn, it might look like that, and it wouldn't be symmetric. Okay? So that's just to keep in mind. So, do a turn to the left, you look out, you look back over the nose, and I move the stick to the left. Okay, and when I do that, the left wing goes down. It will continue to go down until I centralise the stick. Okay. The glider is now banked and therefore turning. I have to apply a little bit of back pressure to maintain the attitude, to stop the nose from dropping, otherwise we end up with it done. Good. Alright, so when I move to raise the wing, I move the stick to the right. And then centralise it when the wings come down. And then relax the back pressure and we continue flying in a nice straight line. Okay? Alright.
So when you are turning, you put always a bit of back pressure in the control.
Yeah, in the turn, exactly. Okay? Right, you have control.
Yes.
Don't worry, it's just the tug again. Okay, right, so turn to the left, look out first.
Yeah, so there isn't anyone there.
Yeah, so look over the nose and stick to the left. That's good. Look over the nose, that's a bit too much back pressure, the nose is quite high, it's a bit nose low, so about halfway between those two. So a bit of back pressure to stop the speed building.
That was too much back pressure.
Initially, yes, and then it was then you let go entirely and the nose dropped and we built up the speed. So give me another turn to the left. That's nice. Yeah, a bit more back pressure than that.
Now I'm gonna put the balance.
Yep. The wings level. That's good. Okay. Very, very nice. So.
Do you have space to do some acrobatics? Is it possible for
Not from this side, unfortunately. It's just thinking of it. Also, not supposed to do them on trial flight, sadly. If you join the club, then yes, absolutely, I'd love to take you. For a mad one. So you can see the runway that we're going to land on down over there on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so keep us flying this way just for a moment longer. Just make it Branson Lodge, you do like a Charlie downwind, left-hand runway 34 undercarriage. Okay, so give me a gentle turn to the left now.
Shall I turn
To the left, yep.
Let me go stop
Okay, and wings level there. That's nice. Let's try this way for a moment longer, and then I'll take over and I'll do the landing.
Shall I release the control?
No, keep going for now. I'll just land in a moment. Okay, and I have control. Right, so in a second, I'm going to see me lining up with the runway. I'll open this the blue lever on the left-hand side here, so just watch out for that. Just make sure we check that there's no other gliders we're going to clash with. It's all clear. Check there's nothing on the runway that we're going to hit. There isn't.